Hello everyone, welcome to this video about the CLIL method. We are going to explain how this approach works and how it can help you as a language teacher in your classroom. We are a group of future language teachers. My name is Santiago and I am with my classmates Leonela, Sandra, and Natalie. We have prepared this presentation to help new teachers like you understand the power of CLIL and how to start using it. So let's begin with the basics. What is CLIL? Well, CLIL stands for Content and Language Integrated Learning. It is a teaching approach where students learn academic content, for example, science, history, or art. At the same time, they are learning a foreign language, in this case, English. So they are not only studying the language, they are also learning about important topics, and they are using also the language in real contexts. CLIL became popular in Europe in the 1990s, but today it is useful for all around the world because it helps students develop both content knowledge and language proficiency at the same time. It is a flexible method that can be adopted in any educational contexts. There is no doubt that learning a language and learning through a language are concurrent processes. But implementing CLIL requires a rethinking of the traditional concepts of the language classroom and the language teacher. There are some obstacles. For example, some language teacher may become unwilling to take this responsibility. Also, most concurrent CLIL programmees are experimental, so there are few sounds, research-based empirical studies, while CLIL type bilingual programmees are mainly seen to be marketable products in the private sector.
So, a key element of CLIL is the 4Cs framework created by CLIL. It includes four essential components: first, content, the subject or topic that the students will learn. Second is cognition, the development of thinking skills, for example, understanding, analyzing, evaluating, and creating new ideas. The third one is communication. The students use the foreign language to communicate about the topic. The language is used as a tool for learning. Fourth is culture. Through CLIL, students learn about other cultures and develop intercultural understanding. So this framework helps teachers to plan lessons that are rich, challenging, and motivating for students. Um, Now, let's talk about the many benefits of using CLIL in the classroom. First, CLIL improves academic learning because students are exposed to subject content in a second language. They develop deeper understanding. They don't just memorize facts. They use critical thinking to understand the subject and make connections between ideas. So this makes the learning more meaningful and long-lasting. For example, instead of just learning a math formula in their first language, students might solve real-world problems using the second language, which helps them apply the concept in practical way. So it becomes more than just theory. They use the knowledge in real context. Second one is CLIL improves language learning. When students use the target language in real academic context, their vocabulary and grammar develop naturally. So they practice all four language skills like listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and they don't practice these skills in isolation. They integrate them in one activity. For example, in CLIL, a science lesson, students might read about an experiment, watch a video, conduct the experiment, write a report, and present their results in their target language. So this gives them multiple opportunities to use the language meaningfully. Also, because they are constantly exposed to academic vocabulary, they start using more precise and formal structures, which helps them improve their overall fluency and accuracy. Fear is CLIL increases student motivation. Many students find CLIL lessons more interesting because they can see how the language is connected to real topics. They understand why they are learning the language because it helps them explore the world around them. For instance, learning about animals, space, or famous inventions in English is much more engaging than doing grammar exercise with no context. It feels relevant and useful. So students start to realize that knowing English opens door to more knowledge, so they can watch documentaries, read articles, follow international news, and even connect with people from other countries. So this real world purpose makes them more motivated and confident. Fourth, CLIL promotes intercultural awareness. When students learn about different subjects through another language, they also learn about different perspectives and cultures. They develop tolerance and respect for diversity, which is very important in today's globalized world. For example, a CLIL lesson about world celebrations might include reading about Diwali in India, Thanksgiving in the United States, or Chinese New Year. As they learn, they not only practice language but also reflect on their own culture and values. So compared to the others, this kind of learning creates empathy and helps the students become global citizens who are aware of the world and respectful toward others. Um, in short, CLIL helps students grow in many areas: language, content, culture, and life skills. It turns the classroom into a space where students are constantly learning, creating, and discovering not only in a second language, but through that language. By using CLIL, we are preparing the students to participate fully in a global society with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to succeed in the 20th century.
Now I will explain how you can implement CLIL in your classroom. A very useful tool for planning content language integrated learning lessons is the CLIL pyramid. So it has 4 levels that guide teachers through the process of designing effective CLIL lessons. The first level is topic selection. So teachers may choose a topic that is interesting and relevant for students. It should also be connected to the curriculum and it has to be a real life experience for them. Number two, or the second level, is the choice of media. So teachers may choose media resource, for example, videos, text, images, podcasts, etc. And that will help students understand the topic and also expose them to the target language. The material should provide rich input and support comprehension. The third level is the task design. So teachers and students create tasks that are both cognitively challenging and communicative. For example, tasks that require students to analyze information, solve problems, collaborate in groups, and present their ideas are considering learning strategies. These tasks encourage students to use both their learning skills and their language skills. Last but not least is the fourth level, which is the CLIL workout or the wrap up. In this phase, students produce something using the target language. It could also include a presentation, a project, a video, a written report, or a class discussion. This is the final output where students integrate what they have learned. So using this pyramid, teachers can plan dynamic and effective, clear lessons that help students learn both content and the language.
Now I'm talk about the designing of CLIL materials. What kind of materials should we use in CLIL lessons? First, we should use multimodal materials combining text, images, video, audio, and interactive activities. This helps students with different learning styles and keeps them engaged. Second, we must consider the cognitive demand. The material should be appropriate for the student's level of, of thinking skills. We can use Bloom's taxonomy as a guide to create materials that encourage higher order thinking, like analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Third, the materials should have real world relevance. Students should be able to see how knowledge connects to their lives. For example, a project about the environmental issues, health, or technology can make learning more meaningful. Fourth, the teacher has an active role in the lesson. The teacher should model the academic language that the students need to use, provide scaffolding that is structured support, and give clear feedback. The teacher also monitors the students' progress and adapts the materials as needed. Even when the teachers don't create new materials from scratch, it is very useful to adapt existing resources and design meaningful activities that combine content and language goal. And the focus is always to help students use the language actively while learning new knowledge. In addition, effective CLIL materials should promote interaction and collaboration. Learning tasks should encourage the students to communicate ideas, solve problems together, and use language in authentic purpose ways. Activities like pair work, group discussion, role plays, and project-based learning not only build language skill, but also foster critical thinking and social competencies. It is also important to ensure that materials support intercultural awareness, helping students understand and respect different perspectives. Reflection and review are essential. Materials should include opportunities for students to consolidate what they've learning, self-assess, and transfer their knowledge to new contexts. This makes the learning process more sustainable and empowering. To further enhance the quality of CLIL materials, it is essential to embed a progression of study skills and academic language throughout the learning sequence. Materials should not only teach content and vocabulary, but also support learners in developing skills such as interpreting graphs, organizing ideas, comparing perspective, and writing in academic formats. This reinforces both cognitive academic language proficiency and subject understanding. Another important aspect is the balance of input and output, which authentic input, whether through video, readings, or visuals, should lead to meaningful students' output such as a discussion, written text, or creative presentation. This shift from passive reception to active production depends on learning and gives students a voice in learning process. Finally, materials should align with a unit-based planning approach where each lesson builds on the last and contributes to overchanging learning goals using tools like the CLIL pyramid. Teachers can ensure that materials are structured to develop content knowledge, language skills, thinking strategies, and cultural awareness in an integrated, coherent way.
Okay, so to wrap up this presentation, I would like to leave you with some practical and encouraging recommendations for applying CLIL in your own classroom. These suggestions are meant to guide you specifically if you are just starting out. So first, start small and build gradually. You don't need to redesign your entire curriculum from the start. Begin with a simple unit or even with a single lesson. For example, choose a science topic, like the water cycle, or a social studies topic like daily routines around the world, and plan language objectives around it. Start with basic vocabulary and short reading or text, listening texts, and scaffold learning through visuals, glossaries, and sentences frames. Second, collaborate with colleagues across subjects. So work closely with teachers of other disciplines. This one of CL's IL's biggest strengths. For example, in collaboration with with an art teacher, you can explore a topic like Impressionism while practicing descriptive language. And, or for example, with a math teacher, students can learn to explain graphs and measurements using comparative language. So, regular planning meetings or co teaching sessions can lead to exciting interdisciplinary units that motivate students. Third, be flexible, creative, and responsive. CLIL is adaptable, so there is no fixed formula. Use different materials, examples, videos, diagrams, songs, infographics, timelines, experiments, or even field trips. Use active learning strategies like group work, role plays, debates, labeling diagrams, or creating posters. So make room for creativity and students' choice. Allow them to present content in different formats, oral presentations, videos, posters, or digital tools like Padlet or Canva. Fourth, create a safe space for mistakes. So mistakes are natural and necessary part of language and content learning. Remember, both students and teachers are learning. So praise effort and progress. Use formative assessments and give constructive feedback. Also encourage peer support and reflection. Help students see that learning is a journey. When you model a positive attitude toward mistakes, your students will do the same. Fifth, don't forget differentiation. CLIL classes are often mixed ability, so adjust tasks and expectations to meet all learners' needs. Provide sentences starters or vocabulary banks for lower level students. Challenge advanced learners with open-ended tasks and deeper research. So visual gestures, bilingual glossaries, and graphic organizers are great tools for supporting understanding. Sixth, use both content and language objectives. Always plan your lesson with dual focus. Content goal, example, students understand the causes of climate change. A language goal, example, students use cause effect phrases like due to as a result. This helps keep your planning clear and ensures students are progressing in both areas. Seventh, elevate both content and language when possible. Assessment in CLIL can be challenging, but it is a key to meaningful learning. Use rubrics that include both subject understanding and language use. Also include peer and self-assessment for reflective learning. Don't overload the students. Be clear about what you are assessing in each task. Eight, eighth, keep developing professionally. CLIL is a dynamic field. Continue learning through online courses, webinars, teacher communities, and classroom experimentation. Platforms like Cambridge CLI resources and It Winning offer free CLIL materials and rewarding networking opportunities. So join a professional learning community can provide ongoing support and fresh ideas. And lastly, remember the bigger picture. So CLIL helps students do much more than just learn a language. It encourages 21st century skills, collaboration, creativity, and problem solving, global citizens, understanding other cultures and perspectives, and also critical thinking, analyzing, comparing, and synthesizing information. In short, CLIL prepares learners for the real world. So we truly hope this presentation has given you a clear understanding on how CLIL works and how you can start using in your own classroom. No matter your level of experience, remember, every step forward in CLIL is a step toward more engaging, meaningful learning for students. Thank you very much for watching and best of luck on your own CLI journey.